Hi everyone, and welcome to the first video of the new year 2024. Since it's the beginning of the new year, I thought a wonderful place to start would be a quick discussion on a few aspects people miss when starting a new website for their business or as a hobby. Let's put together a scenario. Let's say you're a small business entrepreneur. You know your product well, and you get together with a website designer, and you work out thoroughly the look of the website, the functionality of it, and the website designer and you get along fine, and everything works perfectly. And at the end of the website's designer's project, they basically give you the password, a quick couple of instructions on how to add content to your website so you can keep the products up to date, and everything seems wonderful. Several months down the road, though, when you log into your website, you begin to get strange messages on your dashboard, on your control screen for your website when you go in and you want to add a new item. And you don't know what they mean, so you ignore them. And you go, I really got to get a hold of the developer one day and talk to them about it. But the website is working fine. Let me give you an example of what I mean. This is a WordPress site. This is not real. It is locally hosted on my network, so nothing you're going to see is remotely on the internet, and there's obviously no sensitive information. So let's say we log in, and again, the website is working fine. Okay, so you log in, and they're there. These, in my case, for WordPress, you get these update notifications. And you take a look at them, and you go, they must mean something, because they're there, but I don't know what they are. And so you let things slide a bit, and the numbers here will inevitably go up. It'll be 5 one day, and a couple of weeks down the road, you might get a 6, and you might get other notifications, but you think, okay, got to remember to talk to the designer about that. What these are is their software, and all modern websites run on several pieces of software. Gone are the days when a website was just kind of a monolithic thing. There are different pieces, and like any other software, they must be kept up to date. And if you don't, the problem is that 2 things will happen. As flaws are not fixed in the software, because all software has a flaw, and hackers know this, the hackers will wander by your website one day, and there's a way to test the kind of software that your website is using. And they'll go, oh, it's the older version. And they'll look up in their databases, oh, I can get in, or I can trick it into letting me in via this little maneuver, this little bit of code, and they could potentially get in and ruin your website, or put content on it that you don't want. That's one thing. And let's say the other thing is the internet is forever evolving. Standards that are okay today may not be okay tomorrow. And this is particularly when it comes to security. And all the creators of these pieces of software, they keep these up to date. But you have to go in and update them. Now, this is the point where you talk to your website hosting company before you do anything and make sure they've got a backup of your website, a recent backup of your website. If you do anything else, make sure that your hosting company does a backup. And at this point, you can either read about the various changes to the add-ons, and that's what these pieces of software are. They add functionality to WordPress in this case. And once you're satisfied that you have a backup in case things go wrong, and you've done a little bit of homework, you can update one thing. I suggest one thing at a time, because if it goes wrong, you will know exactly where the problem is, and you can go to your developer or the website host and go, this blew up, this didn't, whoops, there we go. This didn't work. That's why this did the test site. So let me go in there. I thought I fixed that actually. And anyway, so you've just seen what can go wrong. But let's suppose the update went through. Just a minute, I'll be right back and I will fix this. Actually, no. I will take you through the steps. These aren't things you're going to do, but it helps with another point. And that is, websites are not only made up of the software that you use, the website software, the hosting company also has their own software that the website software runs in conjunction with. You can kind of think of it like you've got the program for the website, and the website hosting company has the operating system. It's kind of like you have software that runs a game, and then there's Microsoft Windows running your computer. And they can, it's, even if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's important to be aware that there are pieces of the website. It's not a single thing. And let's go in here and fix this. So I'm going to go into plugins. This is what the website host would do. They don't typically use mouse-driven commands. They use the good old keyboard. Now here, this is something you normally wouldn't see. As an owner of a website, this is how hosting companies might get in to update the software. In this case, I forgot to do something earlier. And it's not important you know what I'm doing, but what is important is that you're aware that the different pieces um, can only be updated um, in various ways, and everything does need to be kept up to date to keep things working. Let's see. And yeah, there we go. Now, I have to run a command that I did earlier, but it didn't take. Where is it? There it is. That should fix the problem. And in regards to the operating system, the underlying software that the website hosting company deals with, every couple of years, usually 5 to 7 years, that software will need to be updated, and you may have to get a new site or modify your site in some ways. I would suggest that if you're not comfortable with updating your website like we're going to do in a minute, okay, that should fix all the problems. So let's go try to update. Okay, we're going to try to update a plugin right now. So let's see. That's what WordPress calls. There we go. So as you can see, the number of things to update went down. And after you update an item on your site, check it to make sure everything's working. Go to your website and just go through the pages, especially if you know where the update affects. Like, for example, this is a banner, and this banner is standalone as separate software, so it will be a plugin. Okay. Okay, now, if you're not comfortable with updating things on your website in relation to software, then there's something else you can do. You can get a managed website contract with the website hosting company. And what they will do is they will take care of all the software for you. Okay? That is a second option if your developer of the website doesn't want to hang around or doesn't want to do a long-term contract. However, keeping the developer close at hand is the best way to go. And with a managed website, they will keep you up to date probably for 5 or so years, at which point they will have to modify or update their own software. And at that point, you may need to look at redoing your website, depending on how sophisticated it is. It's just one of those things that every website owner has to face, unless you're in a closed garden situation like Wix, where they take care of everything. The downside to some companies that have closed gardens, and this is not a critique on Wix, But sometimes you can't move your website if down the road you decide to go with another company, because their system may be proprietary and you won't be able to take your website to a new company. I don't know enough about the details of Wix. I think some of their websites can be migrated, as they call it, but I am not sure. Again, your best option is to get a long-term contract, or at least a maintenance contract, with the person that built your site. They can take care of all the technical components, and it'll save you a lot of grief. If you can't do that, then the next option is a managed site, which you should be fine with 5 or so years, 5 to 7. But at one point or another, you will have to probably redo a major component of your website. Or sometimes it's just easier to start over. And of course, the third option is a closed garden proprietary setup like Wix, or there are other companies as well, and they're fine. If you're got a Wix site and it works for you, great. It's kind of it's kind of grief proof. They are more expensive over the long run, I think, but they are an option. So there you have it. Those are 3 options and something to be aware of when you get a new site. You can take care of the content that the public sees, but it's important to know that there's other aspects of your website that you need to watch out for, and that is to get the software updated regularly. And I'm going to update the final bit. And that'll be it for this video that has gone on much longer than I planned, because my website broke in the middle of things. Okay, so my name is Patrick Clark. The website I run is notesintheleftmargin.com. Please feel free to visit a written article. It's goes into a little more detail and is much better organized than this verbal version. And it also links to other articles on the website dealing with various aspects of website development. And so for now, I will see you later this January with a new video on how knowledge and learning is going to change as AI evolves. That's planned for the end of January. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm doing many things, but I'm trying to do it all. Anyway, have a good day, and we'll see you soon. And again, my website is notesintheleftmargin.com. And as I said earlier, I'm not affiliated with Wix. That wasn't a critique of their service. Just they're an obvious closed garden provider. And like I said, if you know absolutely nothing and you just want to focus on public content, putting together your store, they are one way to go. But you may not be able to move your website later down the road to another company. And your best option is to get a developer to have a long-term contract with you. That way they can keep your website running perfectly. And when you get an update message in your website, don't ignore it. Okay, have a good day, and that's the end of the video. Bye-bye.